All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November 22nd School Board Reorganization Meeting. Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. As the superintendent of schools, it is my duty and honor to preside over the special meeting of the school board pursuant to Florida Statute Section 1001.371 as secretary of the board as stipulated in Florida statutes. First, let me recognize our newly elected District 7 school board member, Mr. Edwin Ferguson. Welcome. And also our re-elected school board members, Ms. Marcia Andrews in District 6, Karen Brill in District 3, Erica Whitfield in District 4. All right, we will now move to the organizational portion of the meeting, which will include the selection of a school board chair and vice chair. Once the voting is complete, I will turn the meeting over to the board chair, who will then preside over the remainder of the meeting. Ms. Bellata, could you please call the roll?
District 1, Board Member Quinn.
Here.
District 2, Alexandria Ayala.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
And District 7, Edwin Ferguson.
Here.
Thank you. We will now move to the organizational portion of this meeting by calling for nominations for school board chair and vice chair. The floor is now open for nominations for school board chair. Ms. Brill.
Thank you. I nominate Frank Barbieri.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Ms. Ayala?
So I want to take a point of privilege just to say thank you to Mr. Barbieri, who has served as chair for the last 2 years during very, very challenging times for the district and has done it with grace, and your leadership and experience have been very appreciated. I think that it's been great to also have a new board member join us, and as we look to the future, we know that our diversity is what makes us stronger. And on that note, I'd like to nominate myself for chair at this time, as well as Mrs. Marcia Andrews as vice chair.
Okay, we're just going to do chair at this point, then I'll circle back for vice chair. All right, so we have two nominations for chair. Any other nominations? Mr. Ferguson?
For discussion, I'd like us to consider Board Member Whitfield for chair.
Okay, thank you. Any additional nominations? Okay, Ms. Bellata, so we have 3 nominations. Mr. Frank Barbieri, Ms. Alexandria Ayala, Ms. Erica Whitfield. We will now conduct a roll call vote. So starting by district number, please give us your vote for board chair. We'll start with Ms. McQuinn.
My vote for chair is Erica Whitfield.
District 2?
Myself.
District 3?
Frank Barbieri.
Mrs. Whitfield?
Erica Whitfield. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson.
I'll vote for myself.
Alexandra Ayala.
Okay, the pressure cooker, okay. Wow. I did say for discussion, yeah. First meeting, first 5 minutes in even, I don't even have a watch on right now. Man. Wow. Okay. This is extremely close, and I think it speaks to the quality of all 3 of you as candidates. But for this season, I'm sorry, is this a 1-year term or a 2-year term?
1-year term.
Okay. Solely because it's a 1-year term, I want to be clear on that. I'm going to cast my vote with Mr. Barbieri for chair for this upcoming year.
Thank you. Congratulations, Chairman Barbieri.
Thank you.
Yes, that's worth a round of applause. Thank you, everybody. Okay, just to reiterate, I am pleased to announce that Mr. Frank Barbieri will remain board chair for the upcoming year. All right, now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and the floor will open for nominations for school vice chair. Mr. Barbieri.
I nominate Mrs. Brill.
Any additional nominations? Mr. Ferguson,
Board Member Whitfield, please.
Ms. Whitfield. Additional nominations, Ms. Ayala?
I nominate Mrs. Andrews.
Mrs. Andrews. Any additional nominations? Okay, so we have Ms. Karen Brill nominated. It's Erica Whitfield, right? Erica Whitfield and Ms. Marsha Andrews. So we have 3 candidates. We'll do the voting just exactly the same, starting with District 1. Ms. McQuinn?
I am going to vote first, but I want to see somewhere in our policies that District 1 always goes first in votes.
Sorry about that.
I need to think for a second. I will, first of all, I think I'm just going to do this whether I'm allowed to or not. Don't look next to me. But my vote for chair was based upon the fact that it was finally time to have some gender equity. And so I certainly have been very, very pleased with Mr. Barbieri as chair, but I wanted to explain my vote. Now, of course, we've taken care of that, and now we have 2 females. So, excuse me.
3, actually. So,
Well, no, yeah, right. Okay, so, let me think. I'm close. Okay, well, I suppose I will keep things the same and go with Karen Brill.
Thank you, Ms. Ayala.
Mrs. Andrews.
Myself?
Myself.
Ms. Brill.
Myself.
Yeah, I'm missing one of the votes, too. I'm sorry.
Ms. Whitfield had a vote for herself, right?
The first vote, I'm sorry,
The first vote was Ms. McQuinn voted for Ms. Brill.
Right.
the second vote was
Ms. Marcia Andrews by Ms. Ayala.
and then the third vote was Marsha Andrews, for Marsha Andrews. We jumped down to
Third vote. was-
No, Mr. Barbieri voted for Ms. Brill, correct?
Okay, that's what
Yes.
I missed. All right.
And Mrs. Whitfield, I believe, voted for herself.
Mr. Superintendent, may we say them again so that we can all
Yeah,
hear?
let's just, let's run through, I'd appreciate that.
Without
Thank you, Mrs.
changing our
McQuinn.
votes, my
Yes.
vote was for Karen Brill for vice chair.
Mrs. Andrews.
Karen Brill.
Erica Whitfield.
Karen Brill.
Marsha Andrews.
And I cast my vote for Ms. Board Member Whitfield.
Okay, based on my math, Mrs. Karen Brill, congratulations, you remain vice chair of the school board. Tony, do you confirm? Yes, okay. Well, congratulations, both of you. Thank you for all the nominations. At this point, I'm going to turn the remainder of the meeting over to our board chair, Mr. Frank Barbieri.
My understanding is we're doing committee assignments, and we have to approve the list of the proposed regular board meetings, correct?
Sir, just for today is the proposed meeting dates. We're going to bring the committee assignments on November 30th.
Okay,
so
got it.
more time.
All right, so board members, you all have a listing of the proposed meeting dates that the board clerk passed out. Does anybody have any issues with any of those dates? Mrs. Whitfield?
Thank you so much. I wanted to talk about the June 21st date. The only reason that I think it would behoove us to move it up a week would be so that we could get a full month in between the two. I know that's something that we've always strived to do, is to really take a month off. I think it's great for us, it's great for staff, it really gives that solid vacation time. And so from my understanding from talking to Mr. Burke, it wouldn't be detrimental to the organization to have it, so we would have June 14th as the last meeting, and then the next one not until July 19th.
All right, that's a motion by Mrs. Whitfield to change June 21st to June 14th. Do we have a second? Mrs. McQuinn, are you seconding the motion? Are you seconding? I saw your hand. I'm sorry.
Yes, second, thank you.
All right, is there any discussion? Mr. Superintendent, that's okay on your calendar?
We can make that work. Purchasing was my only concern. It just means we have to plan accordingly for any year-end fiscal items to get that stuff all wrapped up by June 14th, but we can make that work.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor of June 14th instead of June 21st? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
So now we'll approve the rest of the list with that modification. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Ayala, seconded by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Board, Ms. Pilata, is there anything else we're supposed to accomplish this morning?
So you just have to approve the organizational documents.
Yeah, so I have a recommendation here, right?
Okay.
Do I get to read this one, or? Yep. Okay. I recommend the board authorize the chair and superintendent to complete and execute the documents required by Florida Statute 1001.371 relating to this reorganization meeting, including a copy of the unadopted minutes of this meeting, and forward and file them with the Florida Department of Education.
Motion by Ms. Brill, second by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
That completes our agenda, Mr. Chair.
The board members that were just sworn in, I know, Ms. Brill, you're concerned that you didn't dress accordingly, but Jordan would like to get a photo of each one of you down on the floor with the board clerk. You look fine, because the communications wants it. You look fine.
We'll do it again then, too.
All right. Take a motion.
Motion to
Yeah,
adjourn.
we need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor, opposed? This meeting is adjourned.